Hello everyone, myself Padala Rajashekar, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, SR University Warangal, and today I would like to discuss some topic on irrigation engineering. So first of all, before going into the topic, I would like to discuss what is irrigation and what is irrigation engineering. So basically, irrigation may be defined as the process of artificially supplying water to soil for rising crops. So there are if comes to the field of agriculture, so there are two types of things farmers will depend. One is surface water, another one is groundwater. So groundwater, it can be done with respect to bore wells, and we can take water and we can do irrigation. That is one kind of things. And another one is nearby, like any river or near a river, they will divert it into canal and they will distribute to nearby the fields. So that is another way. So this irrigation means irrigation may be defined as a process of artificially supplying water to soil for rising crops. Irrigation engineering means both are little, we have to understand. Irrigation engineering concerns itself with controlling and harnessing the various natural resources of water by the construction of dams, reservoirs, canals, and headworks, and finally distributing the water to agriculture field. As I mentioned that initially there will be surface water, groundwater. So surface water, they will divert through canals. Like for an instant, they have for example, dam is constructed. Dam and reservoirs you can take from their canals, or diverted the water from that headworks, from that finally distributing to the water to the agriculture field. This is the engineering aspect. We need to make sure that water need to be transported from one place to the particular place. That particular place is nothing but agricultural fields. Now, what is a necessity? Actually, what is a necessity to learn this irrigation engineering, and why it is, why we have to give utmost priority in our civil, like in our civil syllabus. So the thing is that water is supplied to the crops by nature through rains. However, the total rain in a particular areas may be ill-timed or insufficient. So it's a fact that whatever the water is coming, depending on the, in terms of hydrology subject, depending on the watershed catchments, that is depending on the nature of the land, the water is not always, the rainfall whatever is happening on that particular area is not always uniform. Like for an instance, this year the monsoon rainfall is good, but next year it may or may not be good. That is what we can tell in our aspects, flood situation, drought situation, the kind of things we will tell. So wherever the things are not sufficient rainfall, or it's not consistent, there these things are very useful. And in order to get maximum yield output of crops, it is essential to supply optimum quantity of water and to maintain correct timing of water supply. That means maximum yield. For getting maximum yield, for example, we have monsoon rainfall. For an instant, monsoon rainfall will be for 3 to 4 months, for example, such that we will do one cropping or two croppings. But if we have this kind of system, irrigation system, the thing we can do 3 times also, 2 to 3 times easily we can make the crop. That means we can make good thing and a more outcome with respect to these things. And this is possible only through the proper and systematic irrigation system. That's what I told now. By collecting water during excess rainfall periods and releasing it to the crop when needed. That means in hydrology we have gone through that. The flood peak flow is reduced with respect to constructing the dams. That means storing the water in rainy season and supplying to nearby, like irrigation area, and with respect to the other seasons also. And coming to the, now we can tell the direct summary. Simply we can tell this may be useful with respect to wherever less rainfall is there, and non-uniform rainfall, and commercial crops that require additional uh, water, because you people might know about these commercial crops, and a controlled water supply. So this is the four necessities that can be summarized into from our previous discussion. Next, now necessity. We understood what we understood. Wherever rainfall is less, wherever we need crop outcome is more, to make sure that we have to store the flood peak flow, and we have to give to the nearby irrigation in a systematic way. But what is the scope after doing? What is the scope from necessity? That means irrigation is not just limited to applications of water to soil. It's not only the thing, only water, soil, and giving the things. It is concerned with various aspects extending from watershed to agriculture field. That means here the thing is that whenever we are making the utilization of a particular river and diverting it to agriculture fields and getting the growth, that means the watershed management like kind of things is very possible, because wherever the growth is there, their management development will be more. It also deals with the design and construction of various hydraulic structures such as canal regulation structures, storage, diversion heads, reservoir, dams, reservoir and spillways, and etc. These are the scopes which we can be seen. Next, scope of irrigation. In that particularly, irrigation is not just limited to the application of water soil. It is concerned varied aspects. Just now I have told, and the thing here, the main thing why I have clubbed means with these two things we can understand briefly the scope. That means these two things, like by briefly the scope of irrigation can be divided into engineering as aspect, agriculture. That's what I have mentioned. This is comes under engineering aspect. This comes under agriculture aspect. Like, so it will be two criteria scope. It will be useful for engineering aspect like constructing dams, reservoirs, spillways, and storage, diversion heads, canal regulations, and everything. And agriculture aspect means incrementing in terms of yield, like kind of things. So now, in another way of thing, we have found engineering aspect, agriculture aspect. So now we will see little in depth regarding engineering aspect as well as agriculture aspect. So now coming to the point of engineering aspect. So now engineering storage will be there, diversion, lifting of water, conveying of water to the field. That means wherever the field is there, there we can convey applications of water to fields, draining and relieving water logging, development of hydropower. So we can make, for example, if we have constructed a dam, there we can make hydropower. There we can send these things to water to nearby the fields through some structures. That's kind of things. And agriculture aspect means have depth of water for various crops, uniform distribution of water. That means, as I mentioned, less rainfall is there, some areas. So here we can make uniform distribution. Whenever we are sending in a particular calculation of the water, then it will be in a good way. It will reach to the each crop how much required, and what are, for example, if you compare rice, like corn or any kind of things, depending on the crops, the water we have to like distribute. That we have to see when it comes to the field, what all nearby agricultures they are doing that kind of crops. So capacities of different soils, depending on the soil also is very important. Like for instance, some soils will absorb less, some soils will absorb more, so depending on the soil only the crop, whatever they are taking the crops will be decided. And flow of water in soils, and this is also important thing, whether this is also like a clay will behave in one direction, sand like gravel, sand, this all will behave in another direction. Reclamation of wastelands. Now benefits. So something we are doing in terms of engineering aspects means we will expect some kind of benefits. Without benefits, there won't be any kind of meaning for anything, any kind of research, or any kind of engineering aspect. So benefits of irrigation means increases in flood protection for food production. That means, as I mentioned, one crop maybe they may are doing, but because of this system, irrigation system, they may do two crops or three crops. That means food production is increased per year, and optimal benefits will be the cultivated cash crops and contribute to nation wealth, general prosperity of the people. So if generate, that means if crops rotation, like crops seasons are increased, then food production is coming more, means obviously the farmers will get good wealth, and it will be overall growth of the nations. And in another aspect, we with respect to the dams and constructing this kind of things, hydropower also is generated, and not only for particularly irrigation aspect, but also that water can be supplied to nearby domestic as well as industrial water supplies. Some other things which can be incorporated, like inland navigation is possible, canal plantation, improvement in groundwater storage, improvement of connectivity, these things also is possible. So now another thing, types. Now we discussed about what is irrigation, what are the irrigation things we discussed. Now types of irrigation or irrigation system, actually many types irrigation are there. What are the things we will see? So irrigation means flow, lift, only two things: flow irrigation, lift irrigation. In particularly flow irrigation, perennial, inundation, perennial flow, inundation flow. That means perennial flow again divided into direct irrigation, storage irrigation, and combined system. That means direct irrigation means diversion, storage irrigation means storage. So now flow means, now you people understood like basic thing. Irrigation means flow, lift. In flow, perennial, inundation. That means direct, storage, combined. Now I want to discuss about direct irrigation system. So here some abbreviations are there. This is a river network, you can see this is a river. Now RHR means right head regulator and left head regulator. For example, you can treat this as barrage, it's a kind of a barrage. For example, you treat this as a barrage, then barrage, then you are stopping and you are diverting the water to this route. This route is called right head regulator, and left side is called left head regulator. This is left head regulator, right head regulator. And what is M is a main canal, it will go like that, and there will be some extension wherever required, they will divert. And this is another portion. For example, if you are going in a main canal like this, M is defined as a main canal. And what is D? Somewhere we diverted the water. The D is called distributary. D is called distributary. We here the from main river we are stopping in terms of barrage, and we are diverting it into left canal, right canal, head regulators, and from there this is called main, and from this distributaries we will tell. This is a one kind of direct irrigation system by making the barrage. Hopefully everyone is understanding. So storage irrigation system is, as I mentioned, perennial in terms of direct, storage, combined. Now direct is finished. Now storage. What is a storage? For example, if we are constructing a reservoir, R stands for reservoir. This is a kind of reservoir, and we have stopped here the water, and you can see here, and this is a river path. The river is going like that, main river, natural river. And S is called storage. S is defined as a storage. And now you see here right head regulator, you can see, and left head regulators are there. Sorry, here left head regulators are there. In that M is main canal, as we know previously in discussion also we can see, and D means distributary, and this all kinds of the things is distributary. Now what we can understand from typically these two figures, direct irrigation means wherever river is there we are stopping the water with respect to barrage, like diversion structures. Storage means wherever the reservoir is there we are directly taking it into right head canal and left head canal things. That means right bank, left bank canals. So we are taking. So we this two type direct means we can stop the water and we can do the barrage, and storage means wherever the reservoir is there, there we can do. And combined. Now coming to the combined. Now you people can understand what is combined. Combined means one we can tell this comes under direct, this comes under reservoir means, yeah, reservoir means storage. So storage, direct, combined. Here there is a reservoir and it is flowing, and some tributary. As I mentioned, a watershed is having, this is a main river, and this is a tributaries for that, and again small tributaries. So now we can see this is the main river, right? That main river is this, okay, middle one. What are the things is happening in the side is called tributaries. So this also we can call as one watershed here also, generally, if you want to do micro level analysis like that kind of things, sub watersheds kind of things. So that is a different topic. Okay, this is this is comes under storage, and this is comes under direct irrigation system. So after a certain distance from reservoir, that is storage, then we are going with respect to the direct. And direct here also left right, here also left right, the kind of things there, wherever required, wherever the sufficient things are required for the nearby the people, the kind of agriculture, industrial, domestic, where we can make this all the things. Now types of irrigation system, that means surface irrigation is further classified into flow irrigation and lift irrigation. As I mentioned in the flow chart previously, you can observe flow irrigation is divided into, I will show you flow irrigation and lift irrigation. We can see perennial, inundation. In perennial we have gone through direct, storage, combined we have discussed. Now we have to discuss inundation and lift. So now you can see flow irrigation, lift irrigation. When water available at higher level is supplied to crop field at a lower level by gravity canals is called flow irrigation. From the definition itself, by gravity is called flow irrigation. If the water is lifted up manually, that means here through gravity we are sending, that is flow. The flow it will happen. We will tell now in usually the flow, that means gravity. It is flow irrigation. When it is going with respect to the some mechanism, and they are making lifting and making the things means lift irrigation. And now the flow irrigation is further classified as perennial and flood irrigation. In perennial system of the irrigation, a constant and continuous water is assured to the crops in accordance with the requirements of the crop throughout the crop period. That's what, whenever we are sending some amount of water to a particular field, there may be rice cultivation, or there may be some kind of corn or sugar cane, whatever the thing. So they can assure this perennial system is, perennial means, as we discussed in hydrology subject, perennial, non-perennial, ephemeral, rivers will be there. Perennial means throughout the year the water will be there on that particular river. In the same way, perennial system means throughout the crop, not throughout the year, throughout the crop period. The crop period may be 120 days or 150 days or 90 days, whatever it may be. So there will be supply of water. That's what we have discussed, direct irrigation, storage irrigation, and combined irrigation things. Now direct, storage, and combined. Now as I discussed, when the water is directly into the directed into the canal by constructing a weir or barrage. I told you previously, and I have shown the picture regarding the barrage construction, stopping with respect to the river network. If it is barrage, then and that is called direct, left, right, like that. But it is constructed across to a storage during the monsoon, so supply during the dry and low period. So this will be more storage, irrigation is more like storage capacity will be more, and it will be helpful when low periods of seasons also there. Combined means is also adapted in certain cases, not completely. Now flood irrigation. Now the thing, flood irrigation, this type of irrigation is also called inundation. Once we will go back to the thing, of the chart, then you people can understand. Again, it will be like revising thing. Irrigation in that flow lift. We know what is flow, perennial, inundation in perennial, direct, storage, combined. Good. And a lift means, as we know, this will go with respect to gravity, and this will go with less respect to manual or mechanical way of lifting. Now the only leftover is this inundation we have to discuss. Now, inundation is nothing but flood irrigation. This type of irrigation is also called inundation uncontrolled irrigation. In this type of irrigation, soil is kept submerged and thoroughly flooded with water. Okay, and leading to complete saturation of the agriculture field. This moisture soaked by the field, when occasionally supplied with rain or mirror watering, brings the crop to maturity. This system is usually practiced near rivers in deltaic region. The delta regions, there they will follow this kind of things. That means very less that people, less this technique is used. Inundation means, in other way we can tell, uncontrolled irrigation. Okay. Now subsurface irrigation. Good. In this system, water does not wet the soil surface. The underground water nourishes the plant's roots by capillarity. It may be divided like the water does not wet the soil surface. That means there are two kinds: artificial, so natural, artificial subsurface systems. Now, what is natural? Leakage water from canals, etc., goes underground, and during passing through the subsoil, it may irrigate crops, so sound a lower lands by simple capillary action. This is a way we can remember capillary with respect to capillary action. When streams are open jointed, drains is artificially laid below the soil so as to supply water to the crops by capillarity. So now another thing is that water application methods. Requirements for adoption of any irrigation method. Now we understood what is irrigation and what are the things, what is direct, storage, perennial or lift. Now we understood the basic things of the main structure. Now we are going little in depth. So this should be like water depth applications, as small as 6 centimeters, and heavy applications as much as 20 centimeters can be made. Requirement of the adoption of any irrigation method, and should allow the use of large concentrated water flows for reducing conveyance losses and labor cost. Now, good irrigation method results in increased yield, conservation of resources, with soil productivity maintained, and water utilized economically. That is what good increase. That means a irrigation is good when we will tell there should be increase in yield, conservation of resources, soil productivity. That means it should not get any kind of if more chemicals are used, the soil is not good. So like the soil productivity maintained, and water utilized economically. We have to see some kind of drip irrigation systems are there for such particular plants. We have to give particular technique. If we are giving excess, the growth also will reduce if you are providing more water for particular plant also. So over irrigation results in, that means here we are telling good irrigation means that now over irrigation, if we are making over irrigation, obviously if water is running like anything on the field, the soil erosion will be happen, and leached fertilizers and drainage troubles, obviously drainage troubles will be there, salt accumulation will be seen on that particular things. Now wild and controlled flooding. Wild means water is spreaded or flooded on a rather smooth flat land without much control. That means control means water is spreaded over the land with proper methods to control the depth of the application. Now various methods of applications of water. Now we have seen irrigation. Now here we are seeing irrigation methods. What are the irrigation methods? That means surface irrigation, subsurface irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation. As I mentioned, these are the things which we can be seen. And you see here surface irrigation, as we know, subsurface irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation. This is very famous thing that might know everyone. And further, surface irrigation is divided into flooding, furrow and contour farming. And further flooding is divided into wild flooding and controlled flooding, just now we have seen. And controlled flooding again further divided into free flooding, control letters, border strips, check flooding, ring basin, zigzag. So these are the class various methods of the applications of the water. Now I want to discuss give some controlled flooding, free flooding and control laterals from these things. Free flooding is nothing but this method consisting of dividing the entire land to be irrigated into small strips by number of field canals known as laterals. So this will be the simple, no need to explain. Laterals are either aligned at right angles to the sides of the field or contours lines. And flooding by contour laterally, that special case of free flooding in which the laterals are aligned approximately along the contour lines. That means free flooding means we can see the supply is in this direction. You can see waste is in this one. That means this is a field, it is going this way and it is coming, and this is a field and this is a things. Laterals at right angles to the field and free flooding laterals along the contour lines. See, this is the way. Okay, it is at right angles, and contour, you can see the contours. This is the contours. We can see the contours. This is a field canals, contour. See the laterals along the contour lines. That means here we can understand dividing the entire land to be irrigated into small strips. Yes, that's what we have done. Small strips we have divided, and by number of field canals. This is the way. And this is another one along the contour. See, this is a contour, lateral contour, and main canal is going. This is the thing, free flooding. Free flooding means this one. This image represents controlled flooding bordered strip. In this method, the farm is divided into a series of 10 to 20 meter wide and 100 to 300 meter long. These divides the strips are separated by low leaves or borders. Water is run down from the supply ditch on to the strip and it advances guided by two borders as a thin sheet towards the lower end. That we can see here. See, supply ditch, inlet, leaves or borders, and 20 meters, and this is 300 meters. That we can understand here. And bordered strip flooding means this is the images which can be which can be seen. Controlled flooding, check flooding, also called irrigation, by plots. This method is very similar to free flooding, except that the water is controlled by surrounding area with low flat leaves surrounding each check. So water is conveyed to the land by a system of canals such as main ditch and field canals, that we can be seen here in these two images. Now check flooding. Check basin method of irrigation. There will be ring basin and zigzag. As we can see that methodology there with these two things are there. They are the special form of check basins for flooding adapted to orchids. And here the special method water is a circuitous road before reaching the dead end of the each pot, that we can be seen here. That means this is the way they are doing for ring basin flooding. And zigzag flooding means this one. This people can understand. This is a zigzag flooding. By images you people can understand what is going here. Furrow method also in the same way you can see. This is a kind of furrow method. You can be seen here how it will be there. Contour farming. It is a practice particularly in hilly regions having steep slopes. So contour farming is a practice of conducting field operations such as plugging, planting, and cultivating land across the slope. The area is divided into longitudinal curved plots with bunds along the contours. Following the contours, the irrigation water stored in some depression higher up flows between the bunds. So that means contour farming is nothing but trenches as a barriers. This you can see here. They are making as a barriers. It's like a contour border method means like this. It will be like this, like this. It will go. That can be shown in a reality means. See, this will be the flat one, and there is a slope. This flat you can see the things. Here also you can see this is a flat. They will do agriculture. Here the things. This is a kind of contour farming. Now, subsurface irrigation, as I mentioned, natural subsurface irrigation, artificial subsurface irrigation. So now coming to the point of another one important one is sprinkler irrigation system. This is a system is a method of applying water which is similar to natural rainfall. So sprinkler means sprinkler. It's like shower. But spreaded uniformly over the land. This is very important. Spreaded uniformly over the land just when needed and at a rate less than infiltration rate of the soil. This is achieved by distributing water through a system of pipes, usually by pumping, which is then sprayed into the air through sprinklers. So this is the thing what they are doing. You can see here. Here the sprinklers are be used. These things. And the best photo, if you people want to understand this way, we can be seen usually sprinkler irrigation system. Now drip irrigation is very famous, is sometimes called trickle irrigation. It is very important question, where water is applied in the form of droplets. That sprinkler means it will do sprinkler, and droplets means it will give the drops. Water is conveyed through a system of flexible pipes. Yes, obviously this flexible pipe is there, it will be operated. I will show you the image. So here there will be some kind of drops. They will give according to the time and according to the things. So center pivot irrigation system means this is the kind, and a center pivot means you can see one vehicle will be there, it keep on moving with respect to the water. And rain gun means this is a kind of irrigation where we can make this is also one kind of thing, agriculture. And thank you for watching.